Have you ever noticed that some men seem naturally attractive without making a big effort? They're not necessarily the most handsome. They're not the loudest person in the room. And they're usually not trying to impress anyone. Yet somehow, people pay attention to them. Women feel comfortable around them. They trust them. They're curious about them. I've always found that interesting. In fact, the older I get, the more I believe that attraction has far less to do with looks than most people think. I've seen average-looking men build wonderful relationships, while I've also seen very attractive men struggle because of the way they carried themselves. In my opinion, attraction is often found in everyday habits. The small things. The things people do consistently without even realizing they're being noticed. Today, I want to share 7 masculine habits that women often find attractive. Not because they're tricks or techniques, but because they reveal something deeper about a person's character. Let's get into it. The first habit is staying calm under pressure. One thing I've observed over the years is that people naturally gravitate toward calm individuals. Think about it. When a problem appears, most people immediately react. They complain, panic, blame someone, or become emotional. But every now and then, you'll meet someone who stays composed. They don't ignore the problem. They simply don't allow the problem to control them. And I think that's incredibly attractive. Imagine 2 men facing exactly the same challenge. One loses his temper and creates more stress for everyone around him. The other takes a breath, thinks clearly, and focuses on solutions. Which one would you trust more? Which one would you feel safer around? Most people already know the answer. To me, calmness is one of the purest forms of confidence. Not the loud kind. The quiet kind. And women notice it. The second habit is not needing constant validation. This is something I see all the time. Many people spend their lives looking for approval. They want everyone to like them. Everyone to agree with them. Everyone to applaud them. But genuinely confident people seem different. They don't need to prove themselves every 5 minutes. They don't constantly seek compliments. And they don't change their personality depending on who they're talking to. Now, that doesn't mean they're arrogant. There's a big difference between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance says, I'm better than everyone. Confidence says, I'm comfortable with who I am. And if you ask me, that's far more attractive. People are naturally drawn to someone who doesn't desperately need attention. Because it suggests they already have a healthy relationship with themselves. The third habit is listening more than talking. This one surprises a lot of people. Many assume attraction comes from saying clever things. But in my experience, people remember how you made them feel far more than what you said. Think about the people you enjoy talking to. Chances are, they aren't talking about themselves the entire time. They're listening. They're paying attention. They're asking questions. They're making you feel heard. And that's rare these days. Everyone wants to be noticed. Very few people genuinely want to understand someone else. I've noticed that a man who listens well often leaves a stronger impression than a man who's trying to impress everyone in the room. Because listening communicates respect. And respect creates connection. The fourth habit is having a purpose outside of relationships. This is a big one. I've seen people make relationships the center of their entire world. And honestly, it rarely ends well. A healthy relationship should add to your life, not become your entire identity. Men who are attractive often have something they're working toward. A goal. A mission. A passion. Something that excites them when they wake up in the morning. It doesn't have to be building a business or becoming famous. It could be a career they care about, a skill they're developing, a dream they're pursuing. Purpose creates direction. And direction is attractive. There's something appealing about someone who knows where they're going, even if they haven't arrived yet. The fifth habit is setting healthy boundaries. Now, I know the word boundaries gets used a lot these days. But I think many people misunderstand what it means. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about self-respect. For example, a man with healthy boundaries doesn't tolerate constant disrespect. He doesn't sacrifice his values just to keep everyone happy. And he doesn't say yes when he really wants to say no. I've observed that people often respect those who respect themselves. Not because they're difficult, but because they're clear about what they stand for. Healthy boundaries communicate strength. And strength, when combined with kindness, is incredibly attractive. The sixth habit is treating everyone with respect. This habit tells you almost everything you need to know about a person's character. Anyone can be kind when there's something to gain. The real test is how someone treats people who can't do anything for them. The waiter, the cleaner, the cashier, the security guard, the stranger. I've always believed that character reveals itself in these moments. And most women notice this too. A man who treats everyone with respect demonstrates maturity. He doesn't need to put others down to feel important. He doesn't need to dominate every conversation. He's secure enough to be kind. And that's a quality that never goes out of style. The seventh habit is being comfortable with who he is. If I had to choose one habit that ties everything together, it would probably be this one. Authenticity. I've noticed that many people spend years trying to become someone they think others will like. They wear masks. They pretend. They perform. But eventually, people can sense when something isn't genuine. The most attractive people I've met weren't perfect. Far from it. What made them attractive was that they were comfortable being themselves. They knew their strengths. They accepted their flaws. And they weren't trying to be someone else. That kind of self-acceptance creates a quiet confidence that's hard to ignore. And I think that's why authenticity stands out so much. In a world where so many people are trying to impress others, being genuine feels refreshing. So let's quickly recap. Women often find it attractive when a man stays calm under pressure. When he doesn't constantly seek validation. When he listens more than he talks. When he has purpose in his life. When he sets healthy boundaries. When he treats everyone with respect. And when he's comfortable being himself. Now, I want to leave you with a question. When you think about the most respected man you've ever known, not the richest or the most successful, but the one people genuinely admired, which of these habits did he have? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoy these conversations about attraction, relationships, and human behavior, consider subscribing and joining us for the next video. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.